Hi everybody. So I wanted to jump on here because I actually pulled these cards for this reading for my TikTok. I wanted to do just a quick 1-minute reading, and Spirit was like, no, I have a lot more to say than just 1 minute worth of information. So I'm going to go ahead and just record this. I'll still do the 1 minute for TikTok, and then whoever it resonates with can go ahead and refer to this video for more information. Okay, so I did already pull these cards, but there was a pretty specific message, so let's get to it. Okay, so the very first card that came out was the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune card here is indicating to me that there's major change coming through your life, and it's not a tiny change, it's a major change, okay? It's a huge shift. Either you're losing people, places, or things that are no longer resonating with you, or they will not resonate with you in the future. Okay, so the first thing that I'm noticing here from this specific card is the knives that were thrown at her. There were some near misses here, but she did not get out of this unhurt. Okay, she is very beat up and from this change, from this process. Okay, she's feeling tied down, very much like this is out of her control, in which it is. This is actually something that, with the stars and the moon in the background, is telling me that it's coming from the cosmos. Okay, this is a spiritual shift that was destined to take place. Okay, so this card, the Ace of Wands, here is indicating to me that because it did actually come out in the reverse originally, it's telling me that there was a lack of passion. Okay, there's a lack of passion, and I actually had this card also come out from this Oracle deck, lack of passion, because I was like, I knew it was lack of passion too, and I'm all, Spirit, tell me more about the Ace of Wands, and it's all lack of passion. I'm all, I know. And it also said anger, okay, lots of anger, frustration, okay, and the need for rest. Okay, so that's just a side note that has to do with this Ace of Wands here. Okay, the lack of passion that came through, and I really feel like for a lot of you, this has to do with a relationship, and that's because this Knight of Cups came out and the Queen of Cups came out. They both came out in the reverse. Okay, the King of Cups, he made a brief appearance. He popped up earlier when I was shuffling, and I just kind of threw him back in, and to me it indicates that either I guess it could indicate for some of you that you have already found your King of Cups and you kind of threw him back, like you were like, oh, this is a small fish, and you threw it back. But really, that person might make another appearance in your life later on. It could be that you weren't ready for that person at that point in time, and you had to go through some more shifts, some more changes, okay, before you could pull that person back into you. I mean, I guess I'm also getting that with the wave here, okay, like the tide went out, but it'll come back in. But this current person, this Knight of Cups, that's not the person that's coming back in. Okay, if anything, this is the person that's leaving your life. This is the person that the change, the pain from the change is coming from, in the most recent form. Okay, so what's happening here, I also got an indication, I just noticed that they're both holding brains and I'm not quite sure what that means yet. I'm sure it'll come to me, but it's distracting to me, so I do feel like it's important. What I was trying to say was that when I was shuffling, the very first indication that I got when that King of Cups came out, and for some of you that your King of Cups already having met them, if that doesn't resonate with you, this is what I'm picking up on. Okay, you're picking up the same type of person. It could be a situation or a job too, that because the Cups energy is talking about an emotional relationship. So it could be like if you're emotionally invested into like your work situation, or if it applies in another situation, that's possible too. But I do feel really strong, like almost power couple vibes here. So I do feel like for a lot of you, this is a relationship reading centered around love, okay, or lack thereof. And for a lot of you, I felt like that you're attracting the same kind of person over and over and over. Maybe they have the same kind of toxic traits or the same kind of habits. Okay, I feel like, let me show you this card that came out with the Temptation card. Okay, this Temptation card came out, and it indicated to me that there might even be some infidelity that's occurred, or Maybe you're the one that's tempted, okay, to not feeling satisfied or not feeling like fulfilled in the current relationship. Okay, for some of you that haven't broken up yet and you just feel that this change is coming, it could be because you're tempted to kind of wander outside the relationship. Like maybe somebody else has caught your eye, and that in itself is kind of like an eye opener to you, that like some of you aren't really acknowledging that, because you're maybe in denial about it. Even like there's different levels to it, but like even if you're just thinking about it, like that could be an indication to you that there's like a major shift that could be coming in your relationship, because like something's not right, something energetically is not matched up here. Okay. The other thing that I'm getting is that maybe you were the one that was cheated on. Okay, maybe you keep attracting the same kind of relationship, where you feel insecure and you have trust issues because you have been cheated on so many times. Or maybe it's not even an infidelity in that sense. Maybe the temptation has to do with drugs and alcohol. Okay, it could be, you could attract the same kind of addictive personalities over and over and over. Okay, and it might even be something money related. Okay, let me show you what else I picked up on. Okay, so Spirit is saying that there is a specific reason why this is occurring. Okay, this isn't happening. This isn't happening coincidentally. I have trouble speaking sometimes, you guys, and my thoughts go. I swear, my first language must be telepathy or something, because my thoughts, I feel like I can read well, I can write well, I can think well, but as soon as I try to speak, I tend to get tongue-tied. Okay, so what I am trying to say is that there's a specific reason why this is occurring, and this is why. Okay, the Ace of Swords, this is a good indication, and this is why the zombie deck spoke to us. Okay, it was because whenever the baton is passed from one, for example, we'll say from one man to another, because it looks like a man's hand here. Okay, every time the baton's passed from one relationship to the other and the transition occurs, there's still dead energy attached when the new energy comes in. Okay, are you seeing that? Because when you carry that dead energy into the new relationship, into the new, it kind of contaminates it. Okay, and so the mission here, let me show you the next. I'm sorry, I know that these cards are not in the frame, but at least I'm showing them to you. So I think that's good. So then we have the Seven of Swords here, and what this is indicating to me is that because you are carrying that dead weight in to the new relationships with you, and you're probably not even realizing that you're doing it. The Seven of Swords here, again, it could be an indication of the infidelity that we talked about, or the temptations that we talked about. There could be lies, there could be deceit. This could be an indication because the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups both came up in reverse. So like you're both kind of exhibiting toxic behaviors. You're not bringing out the best in each other. Okay, so the Seven of Swords could also be indicating lies and limiting beliefs that you have been telling yourself, okay, in this reversed form. Okay, the Seven of Swords, and it's this specific Seven of Swords, I really like it, because, well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it, because my intuition was telling me when I looked at this card, the reason why I said I really like it is because she's kind of like kicking the bad habit, but then I realized that she's actually kicking somebody. But I'm in my intuition has told me that this guy that she's kicking down the stairs was not good for her. Okay, they're not bringing out the best in each other. He might have hurt her to the point where it wasn't healthy for her to continue having him in her life, and so she's kind of like kicking him to the curb. But I can see in the a totally other standpoint, which I think I would when I would usually read this card, would be, like she kind of betrayed him, she kind of did him dirty by kicking him down to the zombies. But in this sense, I feel like this is like kicking your toxic limiting beliefs to the curb. Does that make sense? So like There are limiting beliefs that stem, let me show you what else came through, from your inner child. And this is huge. This is huge that your inner child is coming up in this reading, because it's come up twice. It came up in hole in the soul and inner child. And both of these are an indication that your inner child is affecting the current outcome of whatever is happening now. Okay, so this temptation card is directly related to this inner child wound, this hole in the soul that you have, this hole that you feel like you can't fill, no matter, you know, you might, so for example, like you might think like, oh, excuse me, I have a card stuck to me. You might think like, oh, this time I'm gonna go for the total opposite. Like maybe normally you start dating the bad boy type, and then you go for somebody who's like super professional and goody two shoes, and then you come to find out like some of the same behaviors are being repeated in that relationship as well. Like it doesn't even matter that they were the different person, you were still finding some of these same repeating patterns that you're like, what is wrong with me? Do I have like it's funny, I was gonna say, do I have something on my forehead? And she has literally something on her forehead. So I feel like this is like do I have a billboard on my forehead that says you know, all alcoholics come here, you know, like type of thing. The type of mindset is what's happening here. And it's because there's a hole in the soul, essentially, is so how can I explain that? It's a wound, essentially, that is soul related, a soul wound. I hope I'm explaining that correctly, and I feel like I'm rambling, but I'm hoping it's making sense. Another thing that came out, I just see 1, 2, 3, 4 on my camera. So family and tribe in reverse. So whatever this is, it's related to your parents, okay? Things that happened when you were a child. And this is where a bunch of information came out, okay? Because, and this is where I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do a much longer video than for with YouTube, because what ended up coming out, we have the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups in reverse. It's talking about not feeling emotionally fulfilled, okay, in the family sense, in the emotional sense, okay, not feeling emotionally sustained, okay. This person here in the background is kind of drowning. There's like these people who are carrying on like with their lives, and there's obvious chaos in the background here. So that's an indication to me that maybe maybe your family was even the type that like pretended like everything was totally okay, when really there were darker things going on in the background, emotional things that weren't talked about or dealt with, okay. With the Emperor's card in reverse, it could be, for some of you, it could even be like mother issues. It could be that you had some kind of rocky relationship with your mother, or your mother was absent, or your mother was emotionally unavailable. Okay, but that's only for some of you. And then I also saw an indication here. Let me show you what I saw. The Devil card, which it says right here, Vice. This is a cigarette machine, an old cigarette machine. And look, so this person, basically, it looks like somebody gave in. Somebody went to go get a cigarette. They gave into the temptation, right? Where's the temptation? So they gave into the temptation card. They went to go get a cigarette, and the zombie got him. Okay, he got taken out by his temptations. There's alcohol back here, cigarettes. This can be an indication of, you know, there can be infidelity that stems back to your parents' relationship, okay? Because we have the Lovers card that came out with the Nine of Wands, and I feel like this particular Nine of Wands, because there are so many different, you know, people here, mostly men. There's a couple women here, but basically what I'm seeing is like maybe there was a revolving door, kind of like, I don't want to say that about your parents, but like maybe they did date a lot of different people, and so you remember that as part of your childhood, and that could be essentially like interfering in a sense with your current relationships. Okay, another thing that I'm seeing is with the police officer biting the person's arm here, it could be a law related limiting belief that you have related to trauma stemming from, like, if your parent was arrested or always in trouble with the law. It could have something to do with that, like some kind of abandonment issues where you weren't able to trust someone, that you had to take care of yourself more often than you should have. That person was in and out, in and out. That could be, this could be related to the temptations that you're facing now, the people that you're attracting, and the inner child. Okay, the inner child healing that needs to be done. Sorry, I know this isn't probably the prettiest, but if I'm being honest, I don't know how to make it pretty for this long of a reading, and I'll figure it out as we go, but it won't be today. Okay, so the next thing that I'm seeing that stems from your childhood, this Five of Hazards, this is a poverty card. It's for sure a really good indication of poverty, the way that this particular deck is illustrated. This woman is literally digging through the garbage. Things are in ruins behind her, and there's somebody pinned in the car behind her, which indicates to me that there was a lot of chaos, a lot of disorganization. Even there was a feeling of being stuck, a feeling of being like pinned down in your situation. Okay, a lot of I mean, I'm smelling smoke because of all the smoke barreling out. Like, I know that that's an indication of, I feel like it's an indication of confusion. Like, Spirit wants me to know there was a lot of confusion related to an uncertainty related to your childhood. Okay, and that obviously disturbed, not only did it disturb your root chakra, which is where the inner child lives, but it created this confusion that you were like never certain on anything after that. So maybe you have a problem with making decisions right now. Maybe that's part of something. Maybe Spirit wants some of you to know that some of you, you have these like hidden demons that you didn't even know you had that are starting to pop out, and that's why this card came through right now. Okay, it also came through with this Nine of Cups in reverse, which is just simply telling me that it's blocking your manifestations. Okay, like I was saying, for some of you with the King of Cups that's supposed to be trying to come back in or trying to be coming through, your manifestations are literally being blocked because of the stress. And I know this because the Nine of Cups transitions directly into the Nine of Swords, the way that the cards are pulled. So it's like when there's a 9 and a 9, it's an indication of a transition from one energy to another. So I feel like the stress is the anxiety, the lack of rest, okay, because this rest card had come up. The lack of sleep that you're getting over this entire situation is blocking your manifestations, okay, because you have basically there's something here where you are continuously manifesting the same person, place, or thing over and over again, and it's not a good manifestation. Okay, it's like an anti-manifestation. It's like something you manifested on accident. And like I said, with the girl with the thing on her forehead, she's like, why is there something on my forehead that just attracts these people? Okay, again with this is why. The victim consciousness. This person has something on her forehead too. In this case, I think it's a third eye. But the point, look at these shadows down here that she's housing. Okay, she's in the toxic snakes coming out. There's toxic energy around her. Okay, so it's all because of this victim consciousness that's directly related to the inner child work that you have to do, healing your root chakra, healing your inner child. And what does that mean? That means I mean, I know that there's some meditations on YouTube that you could check out, but oops, sorry, I just dropped a card. But essentially what this means is it's funny because this card is a perfect example, kind of. This woman is with a little boy, but it's still a good example, because what you would do is you would do a meditation where you see your inner child. Okay, you see yourself. For example, I did one last night. I did one for myself last night where when I was about 14, I went through some really difficult times, and I had done some prior inner child work, where I had saw myself when I was like 6, which is probably like my most memorable trauma, was about that. Or no, I think I was 5 even. But anyways, I was pretty young. And I knew I had trauma from them, but when I didn't even think about, adolescent me. I kind of like neglected her. And so what you would essentially do is picture yourself as at that age, see yourself, right? And you tell yourself everything that you wanted to hear, that you didn't hear from your support team, your caretakers at that time, okay? You tell that little boy or that little girl, you hug them and hold them and wipe their tears, and you tell them it's going to be okay. And like I had to tell, the 14-year-old me, like, it's going to get harder. It's going to get harder before it gets better, but like, you are strong enough to do it, and it's going to be amazing. Like, there's going to be amazing times too. And so you just give them that comfort and that love and that support, and you tell them, like, I want to honor you, so let me know what I can do to honor you. Let me know, like, for example, when I talked to the 5-year-old me, she loves spaghetti, and so I had promised to give her spaghetti and to honor that joy in her, and to also like indulge in some pretty things that remind me of certain toys that I had when I was young and so forth. Like, if your inner child is calling out to you to get it, don't neglect them, okay? Because they've already experienced the neglect and the pain and the hurt enough for this lifetime, okay? And that's why Spirit is asking for you to heal it at this time, okay? Let it out. Let the salt cleanse your soul, okay? And tell that inner child that part is over. We've already learned what we needed to know from that, okay? We already learned, so we can let it go. We can leave it in the past. We can lay it to rest, okay, with all of these tombstones here. Okay, all that dead energy, it's time to leave it in the past. And don't be afraid, because you're here with me now. Okay, and I think that's pretty beautiful. And as long as we, it's going to be different for each of us. And I would recommend journaling for sure while trying to get through, if you're not even sure, like, what kind of trauma you could be carrying, which I think a lot of us are aware of at least some of it, journaling is a really useful tool for that. Okay, so the last 2 cards that I have for you, I think are pretty beautiful, because I really only get, they're kind of short and sweet and to the point, I think. So the first card that I have here is Courage. And what I think is super cool about this card is it's just talking about, being brave enough to not only go into the past and to figure out how it's impacting your present, but having courage for the future, and knowing and not giving up, and knowing that, like, you don't have something stamped on your forehead. I mean, you do right now. I'm going to be real with you. You do have something on your forehead, but that's why I'm telling you that you have something on your forehead, because you're going to remove it. Okay. You're going to remove it. You're brave enough. You got this. Okay. You're going to heal it. And then for the future, you're not going to have anything on your forehead, okay? Because you're going to be able to start seeing clearly through the dark, because this person has a lantern, okay? The other thing that I'm picking up on, okay, let me show you this other card. Pay attention to the signs. What's really cool about this card is that they both have these lanterns, right? They both have these lanterns. So what that tells me is that your person is looking for you just as much as you're looking for them. Okay, that person, maybe they still have healing left to do themselves. Maybe they have attachments that they haven't let go of themselves yet, okay? Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you that hasn't let go of some of these attachments. But your person is looking for you too. Okay, your person is trying to do some work too, and you guys need to make sure that you're matched up, okay? Think of it this way. Your person right now is doing the work to get the wisdom, okay? They're getting close to their faith system. They're trying to do the inner work to clear out some of these demons that they have lurking. I think these cards are really cool. I just opened them today. They're the mini deck, and I think I'm going to get the full-size deck because I love them. But my point is that they're clearing out the demons here, right? And so you want to be a match for them. You want to be ready, and you want to be pristine. You don't want that dead energy, right? When that person comes, because they are coming, they will come. And it's kind of like I said, like with the wave, right? Because he's your King of Cups, or it could be, yeah, that's just the way I'm seeing it here, because we got the Queen here, and I feel like a power couple would be with her king, right? And so like, but it could be like the genders could be reversed, you know, if it resonates. It's just basically your match. Like this person that you're with is the impersonator. Like it's like the mini me version, and you're gonna want to be ready for the real deal when he shows up, and you're not gonna want to hand him something that has dead weight still attached to it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And just know, sorry, there's a loud motorcycle. Maybe this person rides a motorcycle, but just know that this person is looking for you just as much as you're looking for them. Okay, so the best thing that you can do right now is rest. Take some time and heal that inner child, because like I said, it didn't come up just once, it came up multiple times for you, and it was all throughout your reading. What Spirit wants is for you to rest. Okay, take some time. If you're breaking up with someone, or if you just broke up with someone, you need to take some time just for you. Okay, just take some time for you. Don't try to like get back out there and be like, well, I just want the pain to stop, because that's what you've been doing, okay, with this idea. Like every time you have a new idea or a new start with somebody, okay, you didn't take the time to rest. Okay, you didn't take the time to heal. That's another color. Like the color green to me is a good healing color, and you didn't take the time to heal in between. So you have all this all of this dead energy lurking behind you. Okay, so clear it out. I know you can do it. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and good luck on your healing journey. Thank you. Bye.